Hey, I'm Jack.
I'm Connor.
And welcome to Fishing 101. We're going to take you through all the basics of fishing. How to put on a hook, how to put the worm on the hook, what are weights, what are bobbers. Common questions will be answered. We invite you to watch. Come on.
Yeah.
Now Connor is going to show us how to put on a hook. Connor.
All right. Now we're going to cover the first part of fishing, which is to put your hook on your line. So you have the line, which is braided. Not sure what that meant, but the guy at the store said it was braided. So the bunny goes through the hole. He goes around town, goes back through the hole. And it's tricky. And then he's feeling saucy, so he goes back through the hole. You tie that around the original line a couple times. It's always good to practice with some regular sized rope. Me and Jack didn't do that, but that's okay.
That's because we're pros.
And then you put it through the hole you just made, and you tie it tight. And that's your line and hook.
In fishing, there are many ways to attract a fish. Me and Connor prefer two ways especially. One, lures, which are mostly rubbery things that look like fish, and often have a fishy scent or
Ow.
wormy scent. And two, not ho-hos. Two is worms, which are, not great looking, but they also, I think, probably are the best way to catch fish. Now I'm going to show you how to put a worm on your line. For the most part, these worms are a little bit too big, so we need to cut it. Don't worry, worms don't feel pain, and if they do, they're just worms, so it's okay. So I cut the worm, I put the rest of them in there. As you can see, I'm pretty sure they have two brains or something because they both ends stay alive. In a way, we're procreating because we're making now two worms. I'm going to take the chunk of worm that I do have, which is really disgusting, and I'm going to put him on the hook that Connor just tied, like so.
It's pretty well tied.
Great tie, I will admit. Connor's iffy on the tying, but this was a phenomenal tie by Connor, all-star tie. We're going to put it through.
Jack recently got a manicure. You will notice that his clean-cut fingernails.
I did. You will put it through the body, the hook completely through the body, not dangling off. Some people prefer dangling off, but what me and Connor have learned is that in order to keep the worm on, especially when you're reeling slow at Lake Woodside where we're at, you need to have the hook completely through the body for it not to fall off.
So now we're going to show you how to use weights, which are these bad boys. And you use weights when you're using a tackle that won't sink to the bottom or get into the kill zone, as we call it.
Nice.
And you have to give it something to sink down. There's this type of weight, which you tie on similar to a hook, because it's got the little loop there. And then there's this kind of weight that is easier because you kind of clamp it on underneath this rubber thing. And since we showed you how to tie on a hook, we will show you how to use this kind of weight, because sometimes it's tricky. So you get an appropriate length away from the bait, probably 5 inches. And it has a little slit in the metal. You put the line in the slit and then lift up the rubber so that it's covering it. And then do the same on the other side so that the string is now underneath the rubber and in between the rubber and the middle. You can slide it down the line if it's too high or too low, and that's how you have your weight.
Bobbers are a great tool when you're fishing, especially when you're using a weight. It allows you to get a more accurate depth into the kill zone. This one away right here. If you move this goes forward and back. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
There are multiple sizes of bobbers depending on the weight of the tackle you are using. Not the weight on it. The weight of the tackle you're using. Right now we're using very light tackle, which is a worm. You know, there's heavier tackle like the buzzbait. This sort of bobber, which is smaller, would just sink with this buzzbait, but this sort of bobber would be more useful. So right now we're going to use a medium-sized bobber, and say we want the worm to be around a foot under the water. We're going to put this about a foot above the weight, because that is how far the worm will sink. You pinch this down, and as you can see there's a little hook there. I'm going to take the line, put it over roughly where I want it to be, which is around a foot, and release. And as you can see, it will slightly move if you want to move it a few inches, but for the most part it is stuck right there. And this is a bobber, and it's a great tool for a fisherman. Now I'm going to show you the art of the cast. The way a fishing rod works is right now the line will not move because the clamp is locked into position, as you can see. When I open up the clamp, show the line, she'll sink immediately. Reel it back up. Now to cast, what I'm going to do is open up the clamp but hold on to the line. Okay, and then I'm going to sway out and release the line so that it will fly through the air and hopefully land in the target spot. So right now, let's say I'm aiming for right there in between the bushes. Perfect.
Look at the bobber.
What do you know, Master Fisherman Connor caught a fish. This is a pumpkin seed fish, which means that it has serious teeth, which you can see. Right there, hold it still. And it's got serious spikes. Now, do you want to do it or want me to?
You want to do it?
I got it. Now the way to deal with the spikes, because you can get stabbed by them, is to, here, hold on to this. Hold on right there.
Jack's gonna take it off the hook.
Is to kind of massage the back. Massage the spikes down. I'm so scared.
Don't move. They sense fear.
Now the fish knows, hey, I'm in good hands. These guys are nice guys. So they may eat me, but we don't because we go by the honor system. You can see right now the spikes are actually kind of digging into my skin, but that's okay because it was worth the fish.
Look at him.
Okay, and now I want you guys to watch how quickly they swim away. Boom, and he's gone. Into the depths of the sea. This is Jack.
And this is Connor, and those were the basics of fishing.
Now get out there.
And get hooked.